Good morning, everyone. We're going to get right into the stock market charts. Again, if you're new to the channel, I cover technical analysis and trade ideas, really trying to point out trade ideas before they play out. I'm looking for opportunities. I'm not going to put you on a trade, tell you to buy something because everybody else is buying it. We're looking for the trade ideas before the herd jumps into the trade. So today I'm going to start out with this trade idea right here, and then we'll go into the general market analysis. So we're going to look at ABBV. And again, this kind of goes again with that theme that I've been talking about where I thought healthcare was likely going to start to roll over. Healthcare has been one of the strong sectors in the market. And if we're going to get a broad-based sell-off, we need to see healthcare get sold down as well. So we'll take a look at that. But ABBV, this is a healthcare stock. And basically, we got a big sell signal today. So on ABBV, we've been in this pretty strong uptrend for quite a while. This is a daily chart here that we're looking at. But you can see here at the high, this most recent kind of almost like a blow off top high right here was a divergent high. So you'll notice right here on the PPO, and it's pretty much even on the RSI. If I zoom in, so here's the RSI. If I zoom in, you can see it's basically this, just slightly higher, but basically the same kind of high. And then on the PPO right here, you can see clearly a lower high. So you got a high and then a lower high, but then you go look at price, and price was making you made the high here and then a much higher high. So negative divergence is in play. And then today, and I just noticed it today, we got the sell signal. So there's a break of the trend line. This is a sell signal. This is what you want to see. Big impulsive selling, big red candle. This is likely the start of a downtrend. And in reality, the downtrend started at the all-time high, or at the high right here. But you don't know that it's starting a downtrend until you get the sell signal. So sell signal on this one today. I've kind of marked out some near-term support levels. We've got some support here at 151. We've got some support at 137.90. And then we've got some support in the 200-day moving average and support down here. So at the end of the day, who knows where this goes, but we'll watch these support levels. I would, this is going to be kind of our first target right there, 151, 150.75, and then 138. So those are kind of the levels that we're watching for right now. And we'll just let this thing continue to sell off. It's very weak today, so just nothing but selling. So it's an exit. Basically it's a run for the exits. And as you can see, this one candle right here has wiped out about a month worth of bullish price action right here. I kind of counted the days. It's about a month's worth of time has been pretty much taken out in one candle. So that's what you want to see. Sell signal. Moving on. Okay, I'm seeing a little bit of rallying happening in the Qs today. Pretty low volume. So I don't know. In the short term, I really don't know where the Qs is going to go. I'm looking for more downside here shortly, but whether we get that this week, I'm not exactly sure. We have these gaps to fill up here too. So, there's always the potential that we run up and fill this gap. We got this gap right up here at 360, we'll call it. That would be as of right now, if you were going to rally, that would be a very objective area to short. If you run up and fill that gap, that's definitely an area that, if you haven't shorted already, then you'd probably want to add to shorts, at least in my opinion. And that we also have this bearish falling wedge pattern on the hourly chart. We're starting to break out to the upside, so we could see a small rally over the next few days. Again, markets don't move straight down. And if I look at the daily here, we've had a pretty impulsive rejection or off the 200-day moving average. So again, we shorted right here on March 29th at that pop right there above the 200 simple moving average. Very impulsive rejection, really just straight down. So it would make sense that we're going to have maybe a counter trend bounce. I don't know if we can get up there to that 360 area. There is that gap up there. That is a potential. I'm not sure we're going to be able to do it, but we'll keep an eye on it. For the most part, I think we probably just kind of consolidate, maybe drift slightly higher into the close for this week and just kind of, end the week somewhere right in there. And of course, if we break down, then we're watching, there's some levels to watch. Obviously, the lows down here at 318, about 319, that is a real critical support level. So if we're going to break down and sell off, we might sell down to there and, close the week down there. I don't expect us to just break this level by this week. We'll probably, even if we get there, I don't think we'll break it, but that's the level that if that goes, then it's very, very likely we're going to continue down to 300 on the Qs. All right. And possibly quite a bit lower. All right. Small caps. Again, small caps kind of just chopping around. Again, bigger picture, we've got this big sideways range that we've been in for a while. And we were clearly rejected at the major level of 209, sold down. So we need to see the lows get taken out, and we're basically right in the middle of the range. So resistance right now is right there at 209, and you've got support down at the lows, the near-term lows at 187.85, and we're smack in the middle. So it's no man's land. I don't know where it's going to go in the short term. We could run back up a resistance. We could fall to support. It's really impossible for me to tell which direction in the short term we go. But these are the key levels to watch. So a run up to resistance is a short up there, in my opinion. A fall down to support. If we get down to support, I'm going to hold out and see if we can break this. But a break of support will signal that we're very likely heading down to the next level of support, about 174 to 170. And that's where I'm leaning, but again, right in the middle, so pretty hard to tell in the short term. Gold. All right, so gold bullion seems to be breaking out. We're seeing more buying today. Yesterday, let me go to the hourly chart here. So the key level of resistance, at least in the short term, was about 1960. And yesterday we broke out here, did a little back test, and today we're continuing to move higher. So that is at face value, it's bullish. We don't really have negative divergence on bullion. So bullish in the metals right now. The metal looks good. And then also if you take a look at silver, it's good to look at silver futures. You can see this one's starting to break out too. So silver had this clean downtrend line, big correction. This was over a year-long time frame. And it corrected. Then it broke out. So we have a bullish breakout. Came in for a back test of the 200 right there. Didn't get down to the trend line, but close enough. And today you can see, over the last week or so, pretty impulsively been rallying higher. So I like silver long. I like gold long. The miners here, we'll look at GDX. On the miners, we're breaking out a little bit as well. A couple things to note on the miners. All right, we are making a new high recently. This is a divergent high, so we still have negative divergence. I'll just adjust this like this. See if I can grab this line here. So you'll see that the momentum is lower than the former high. So you've got a high here, a new higher high in price, and yet momentum's still lower. Not confirmed though. So divergence isn't a reason to say, oh, it's time to get out or time to short or any of that. It just gives you a condition. And we're not confirmed. So you can see the RSI is pointed up. If the miners continue to rally, we're going to burn through this divergence. And that's the way I'm leaning. I think we're going to do that. Looking at the PPO, as I zoom in, you can see we're just now starting to get this bullish crossover right here. So let's see if that sticks and continues. But the miners are, at least in the short term, looking bullish. They have divergence, but it's not confirmed. So if we get that bullish crossover, we could continue higher and burn through the divergence. And in general, that would be very bullish. So we'll watch those. Okay, and KHC. KHC continues to rally higher. If I look at the daily chart, we've got this gap to fill. This is from back in 2019, this gap, and the gap fill is at 48, all right? It's 47.90 or so. You can see we're just continuing to drift higher here. We had some support right there in the 200-day, all right? So it held that, bounced off of that, and it's continuing higher. So very high probability at this point we run up to fill that gap. You can see in the past, right here, back in May of 21, they made it almost filled the gap. They made it look like they were going to fill the gap, but then it stopped short and they sold it down. So I think at this point, very, very high probability that we do fill that gap. Okay, that gap's been there for a couple years, and I'd say it's very good probability we're going to fill it. So I'm long this thing. It's not a position that I really have been pointing out a lot. It's just kind of a grind higher, and we're just letting it do its thing. And the financials, XLF. We continue to battle with this 37 level. You can see today, 37.15, and we are just battling right there with that level. So I don't know if something is going to be decided. Look for a break of that 37 and look for impulsive selling. If you don't see that, then we don't have a sell signal on the financials, and the markets, at least the financials are going to continue to hold up. You're not going to get broad-based sell-off in the S&P 500 unless you see the financials break with tech. But we do need to see, tech has already been pretty weak, so we need to see some of these other sectors like XLV and XLF. And maybe energy, we need to see those start to break if you want to see that broad-based sell-off. So 37, again, there was lots of tags of that in the past. I kind of have those circled out. Not this one, but you can see support through here. And so, again, and recently, we're basically just right back at the same area, having another battle between the bulls and the bears. So that's it. Okay, well, that's all I really have for this morning, so I'm going to keep an eye out for anything else that's interesting. Guys, drop me a thumbs up. Check out my stock market technical analysis course, link in the description below. I'll catch you guys on the next one.